Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from RDARS Inc, a robotics and drone technology company. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view the company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Charles Zwebner, CEO and founder of RDARS Inc, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol RDRSF, and also on the CSE under the symbol RDRS. Welcome, Charles.
Good morning. Thank you for having us today. So what I'd like to do is provide a presentation on our company, RDARS, which stands for a Real-Time Drone Alarm Response System. We are a public company. We trade on the Canadian Security Exchanges RDRS and on the over-the-counter QB, RDRSF. And like a public company, you can find our prospectus, all our financial statements, the audits and the quarterlies and the MDAs online if you can do some research on the web. Our website is rdars.com, and there's a lot of information which is over and above this presentation, which is on the website. We founded the company in 2019 for the purposes of providing security, which is drone security for the 21st century. Just 2 or 3 pages of disclaimers. They'll be on the website. You can read them later on. Now the question is, what is RDARS? So RDARS is an autonomous robotics drone company designing state-of-the-art, real-time, next-generation artificial intelligence security systems. The technology has been designed to exceed most of the stringent FAA beyond visual line of sight regulations and providing real-time drone alarm response system. Now, what does all this mean? So our platform is made out of 4 pieces. One is an eagle nest, which is a home to the drone, and that system is integrated into the security system of the property so that when there's a breach of security on the property, the drone, which is the next piece, the eagle eye, will autonomously take off. It automatically takes off, will fly around the property on pre-programmed missions, and will provide real-time visual data and intelligence on what's going on that property. We also have an Eagle Rover, which is an indoor security bot, and that also is tied into the system. And of course, there's the Eagle Watch, which is the software which provides real-time data to a command and control center that is managing all of these particular pieces of technology. The Eagle Nest, this is the station, and this particular product would go on top of the roof of the property or any other location on the property, and it's an all-weather system. It has redundant power and redundant communications. Now, this particular system has been designed with full redundancy, so it ties into Wi-Fi. And then if the Wi-Fi goes down, there's also cellular communication to the nest. And there's also dual band cellular communication on the drone. And in addition, we also have a Starlink communication to the RDARS. So pretty much we have multiple redundancies of communication to this particular box. One of the reasons I founded RDARS is that back in 2019, after doing several years of field operations, there really was no system that was at a price effective. Most systems would cost $50,000 to $500,000, and those systems are still around today. In order to be able to get this into the consumer's hand, which could be residential, commercial, or industrial, we felt that this product needs to be somewhere in that $10,000 range, and also with an arrangement that they only have to pay a monthly subscription. And that was a big differentiator for what we have versus what's out in the market, and we were able to produce this product at that sell price. Then we have the actual drone. Now, the drone has been very uniquely designed For FAA compliance, one of the biggest issues we have is the beyond visual line of sight. And we have been spending 3 years of all technologies that are implemented into the drone that will meet and comply with risk mitigation concerns for the FAA in order to get waivers and approvals on beyond line of sight. Also have the indoor rover. We are focused on it, but not as much focused on that right now. We believe that this will come down the road when people want to tie the indoor rovers together with a drone. And an example of that would be, let's say, in some places where they need security, and the drone will fly on the outside, but they really want to get a handle on what's going on the inside of the property. So you've got the rover, which will communicate as well. And then you've got the command and control center, which is the Eagle Watch, which is as important, maybe more important than the entire system. Because what will happen is when there's a breach of security on the property, the drone will automatically take off, fly around the property on pre-programmed missions, and will provide real-time data to the command and control center. The command and control center can then look at the property and decide, is this something that needs to be downstream to the public safety agencies, which means let's get the police, fire engines, ambulance, or SWAT teams out to the property, provide them with the data so that on the way to the property, they already know what's going on at the property. The biggest issue we have today is always in the first 6 or 7 minutes when there's a security breach. Now, I want to add is that it's not only upon a security breach that this drone will take off. It could take off on schedule, like every hour on the hour, almost like a sentry system. And it could also take off a manual. So if somebody says, I want to see what's going on that particular property, they would be able to take off and it'll fly around the property, come back and reset itself. In all of those cases, the data is transmitted to command and control center that can intervene into that flight, and they would be manned by Part 107 licensed pilots that are trained on this particular system. Now, our RDARS path to market has been, we've been at this for 4 years, although 1 year was COVID. And in 2019, I raised funds, I produced a prototype, which there is a video of that prototype on the website. It was a very, very successful prototype. And then 2020, COVID came, we kind of suspended all operations during 2020. In 2021, we then redesigned the drone for the purposes of being able to get beyond line of sight permission from the FAA, and we had to understand all of the risk factors and provide technology for risk mitigation. We were able to successfully do that, and in 21-22 we did the product design development. We finished the product design, and in May 23 we finished the final testing of the Eagle Nest and the Eye. We now have a completed product ready to go to the market. Our technology is way ahead of the regulatory, and that's an industry-wide problem right now. Is that a lot of drone companies or UAS companies with state-of-the-art technology, but they have limitations and constraints because of the regulatory environment. So our plan is to provide some strategic value deployments. We have agreements in place. We've already sold quite a few drones, and we will be deploying them. And we are in the midst of a filing with the FAA for a waiver filing, which has started in July 2023. We do believe that we will get a waiver on this particular product because we as a company believe that our product is at the low end of a risk totem pole. Our product goes onto property with permission based. It's geofenced to the property, and it's really providing security for the property. So it's not flying over highways, or it's not flying over railways or sensitive infrastructures or such other areas. It's also flying low altitude, which would be under 100 feet, above 12 feet. And it's also going to be flying close proximity to properties. So all of those things should allow the FAA to give us a permission, a waiver, and then criteria permission of providing these things. So we're looking at somewhere around October 2023 to get some kind of first ruling on the BVLOS. Once we do that, we're looking at a Q3, Q4 commercial customer rollout, which will be ongoing, and also looking for a channel partner, a relationship and scale so that we can scale up in 2024, 2025, and 2026 with a scale of this product. So we're not looking with an objective to get out 10 units or 100 units or 500 units. We really want to look to start to get out thousands of units in the United States and in Canada. We are a Canadian company, but we operate both in Canada and USA. And of course, there are international opportunities. So far, our funding to date and capital use has been about $5 million that we have raised through angel investors, seed capitalists, friends, family, and networks. We've spent close to $4 million on the technology, about $1 million in working capital, 1.3, and we will be looking to raise additional funds for the scale up for 24, 25, 26, and that would be more institutional financing that we are actually actively looking for right now. This is just a capital structure. We have we did a rollback. We have about 17 million shares out there right now with some warrants. The stock is trading probably around 15 to 20 cents. And as a company, as a CEO of this company, I believe the company is undervalued and has a significant upside as we start to roll out our products. I have my most important person working for the company right now is Jason Bravman. He's a CTO. He has an engineering staff of about 10 people right now, and we have, I believe, one of the best systems. I believe we have the best system out there, which is the autonomous drone in a box solution. With a real-time data transmission and command and control center. We have several partners in the company, and it all started actually with Easy Aerial. Is that in 2019 when I decided to get into security, Easy Aerial had a drone in a box, and we've disclosed this in our prospectus, so it's all in the prospectus. Easy Aerial had a drone in a box that we took a licensing agreement from them for this particular product. This product is being used right now for the U.S. Air Force, and it is deployed in some of their bases in the United States. The licensing agreement in 2021 was renegotiated because it was limited, and it was only in several markets, and it was only to several industries. In 2021, we got ownership of our portion of that particular product, and we then re-engineered it for the FAA, and we also, with that, we have unlimited territories and unlimited markets, which means that we can actually sell this into residential, industrial, commercial, federal, all kinds of properties that require automated security or drone security. There is no question in my mind, there's absolutely no question in my mind that this product is coming. And this product is going to be coming hard and fast once the BVLOS issues are resolved. And properties out there, it could be ranches, it could be high-end residential, it could be cottages, country homes, will have drone security as part of their as a tool and part of their kit. Oops. So, in summary, I believe we're at the right place and the right time with the best people in technology. There are many uses of autonomous robotics. Our solution is tailor-made for our market, and we have all the ingredients to succeed. And I really want to elaborate on this a little bit, is that right now, the security of a property, what we're seeing right now in the marketplace, unfortunately, is more chaos and more dangerous situations, and there's a lot more being spent on security, on the security industry, and to secure properties. And there has to be a conversion to drone technology for securing these properties, because it provides a much quicker, better, and less expensive solution to some of these problems we're seeing out there. What we're seeing also now in the security industry is that in some cities, you will find local ordinances where the police will no longer go out to a property unless there's a verification on that property. We're going to be finding that if alarm goes off more than once, if it goes off 2 or 3 times, they will no longer go out to the property, which means that they need verification. So therefore, a solution for verification will provide increased security at a lower cost, and will also reduce the resources that is draining some of the public safety agencies right now. So in all, we believe we've spent quite a few dollars on this technology. We have it. It's there. It's available. We will be deploying it. We will be showcasing it. We will be getting hopefully our BPLOS. We will be tying up with a security company, a large security company, to provide distribution of this product. And we want to start scaling in 2024 into thousands of units across the country. And that's where we are as a company right now. I don't think there's any more. There we go. I am going to see if there's any questions that people have asked, and see if I can try to respond to them. So the first question I have right now is, how will you price solutions? So the pricing, we're looking at pricing in that 10,000 range. And what we want to do, because we want to scale up, is provide this at a zero cost, which means that you don't have to pay for the unit, but you will need to pay with a subscription. So because we are also manning this particular product to a command and control center, and there'll be a charge on the command and control center, maybe $200 a month, whatever, we will then add the leasing charge to this particular product. So it may end up that somebody were paying $300 or $400, essentially signing a contract, and his property gets secured. At any time, if he's not willing to continue, we will take it back and we will refurbish it and deploy it as a secondary unit. So we are looking at a very low price. Like I said, there are systems out there right now in the $50,000 to $500,000, and I think the price is a massive inhibition right now on getting this thing out in scale. I have another question is, can you comment on the drone usage percentage between residential, commercial, and industrial settings? We do not have any stats right now between industrial, commercial, and residential. That we do believe that there's a potential of about 5 million properties out there that are available for this particular product, based on our research that we have done. We have another question here. Do we have any patents? Also, can you discuss manufacturing plants? So we have filed some patents, not for the entire system, but there are some pieces of the system that we've filed patents. And the manufacturing. So we are manufacturing this drone right now in Toronto, Ontario. We have a plant in Pickering. We are manufacturing on a onesie-twosie basis. We could probably manufacture about 25 to 50 a month right now in our current location. But as we go into 2024 and we start to look at scale, we will take the manufacturing and sub it out. We're not sure yet where yet, but we are looking at different locations that could do scaled up manufacturing. I see, next question. I see you have SpaceX Starlink integrated into one of your packages. Are you working in a partnership with Starlink? We are not working in a partnership with Starlink, but we do have the Starlink product because we have had requests for having an off-grid system. And an off-grid system, we have a public announcement that we've made already in a press release. We can deploy these in the mountains somewhere. It has solar backup for the energy, and it'll also have Starlink for the communication link. So we'll be using Starlink also as redundancy, but we're also using Starlink for those that want to have this particular system in a remote location. But there is no partnership agreement as we stand right now with Starlink. We have a question here, what is our business revenue model? I have specifically not put the projections or the model into the presentation at this point. But if you ask me what is my objective, it's simple. We want to get this out on scale. There is no other company in the United States right now that has, or I've seen even a plan to put out drone solutions on scale. Now, when you say scale, it could be 500 units, 1,000 units, 10,000 units. It could be up to 1 million units. We don't know yet where the market's going. I'd love to get to 1 million units. And if you talk about the revenue model will be both some money that we make on the sale of the particular drone and a monthly recurring fee for manning the command and control center that is manning all of the operations of all these drones. So if you said, where could this go? I'm not saying we will get there. I hope we get there. But, if we're talking about $200 to $300 a month on 1 million units, you're talking about a business that in the long term could be talking about $200-300 million a month in revenue. We have not yet modeled it out. I want to caution the investor for this. We have not modeled it out. We have not published any of our projections. We are working on it, and this will depend a lot upon the criteria approval from the FAA to be able to scale, and it will also depend on some of on a channel partners that we are in discussion with right now, whether they put it out and how fast and how far and how big they can grow the revenue. So the potential is there. We are working on it, and hopefully we will get there. What are the unique features of your solution? Next question, what are the unique features of your solutions for property management security? For property management, it's great. We will have a product on a property, and then again, whether it's a security breach or it could be a scheduled rotation of the drone checking the property, or it could be actually a manual intervention. Within seconds, it can take off, fly around the property, provide imagery of that property, data on that property that somebody can make a decision what to do. And we believe that the property management is probably one of the highest markets out there, that everybody wants to protect their properties. I have another question. Can you speak to the go-market strategy, sales channels, and resources? So part of the market strategy is not to sell this by onesies and twosies, but actually to tie up with sales channels that can bring in thousands and thousands of locations once it's all defined and set up. And with regard to resources, that's a very interesting question, because we are looking at to get some institutional financing for the scale up in 2024, 25, and 26. And it could also be, and I say also be, a combination of institutional and also a channel partner that may like what we're doing, says we want to invest in your company, or we want to partner with your company, et cetera, et cetera. So there is some M&A opportunity moving into 24, 25, 26, and that will depend on who our channel partners are and the resources that we're looking. But clearly, we know that if we want to scale and take this all the way, we need to bring in some of the big guys, both from a funding point and from a sales channel point, and we are working on those as I present today over here. I do not have any other questions. I don't think so. Nope, I don't have any other questions. And we are executing. I will say we are executing. And like I said, in the very near term, we hope to have some good news with regard to the BVLOS, with regard to the deployments, with regard to the live showcasing, with regard to the resourcing, and also the channel partnering. We are working, and we're working for our shareholders. I want to thank you for attending here today, and I am going to, my time is soon up, so I'm going to be cutting out.